A TB on Ramses again is a hero that. Alrighty,
Oh,
here
I
we
know you're
go.
excited at this.
I was just playing Phoenix last night. The hero is pretty good, as well. Pasha loves playing him. Loves playing Phoenix. The strength of this hero versus Terrorblade is in the laning stage, while Terrorblade is really squishy. He has a lot of armor, but Phoenix doesn't care as most of his damage comes from his dots. Rubik isn't really a hero that you have to care about as Phoenix. He can lift you during your dive, but overall in the laning stage, there are many other heroes that are much more painful to deal with, while Rubik is just a Rubik. He doesn't really matter that much. Nyx Assassin plus Phoenix, that lane already looks good versus Rubik plus TB, and VP should have a solid off lane. And Phoenix, like when you give him a solid start versus a Terrorblade, if he gets decent levels, like he can actually burst him down. Well, not burst him down, but burn him down over time, uh, very easily. Hmm.
No
It is a
surprise.
core Phoenix. I don't think it's gonna be a Nyx tree, by the way.
Most likely, yeah. No surprise that the gym nut is obsessed with a hero that causes you to feel the burn. But it's very like it's a very good Phoenix game. It's a very good Knicks games we already highlighted, and this is, I mean, you look at this right now as Team Empire. You going, okay, what kind of initiators or cores can we pick that do not have AOE's? Because that's the big problem right now. You mentioned that a lot of heroes in the current meta are countered by Knicks. Is it because there's this really big focus on AOE potential in the laning phase and beyond? So easy spike carapace, basically?
I mean, Nyx Assassin versus these heroes with Spike Carapace doesn't really do a whole lot, right? There aren't any big AoEs that are gonna hit you besides Fade Bolt per se.
You got the clap and the Fade Ball are the big
Yeah,
ones.
it's not great. It's not your 100% Firefly or something like that. However, this Team Empire's lineup right now is looking really strong. Vengeful Spirit is decent. Terrorblade is decent for Team Empire. They took away Ramsey's Terrorblade, they took away Vengeful, but what they forgot is to ban Morphling. Morphling used to be the go-to hero when it comes to countering Terrorblade, and Morphling is right now one of the top contested cores in the game overall. Um, as you can, it's very hard for teams to deal with Morphling, as his biggest weakness before was the laning stage, as you needed mana for your attribute shift. It wasn't really easy to lane him. Right now, Morphling is one of the strongest laners one-on-one, so you can put him mid, you can put him safely, and I believe that they're just gonna do what fits the game the best, and no one can play it. Ramses can play it with. I believe they played Morphling with a lot of success recently, so they also got that good matchup versus the Terrorblade, and this Terrorblade is going to have to itemize already in a very passive way to deal with the Phoenix and with the Morphling. He's going to need that early BKB too.
Food for thought, Liz. How about for Team Empire? Because they got a little bit of versatility in where things could go right now. How do you feel about like a Clockwork pick here? Because it like deals with the Nyx and Oracle really well and breaks up the fight pretty nicely for Empire.
Yeah, that would be great, but they need a mid. I
Could you
believe.
not run like? Do you not think Venge has the potential to be in the mid right now? Or do you think it's too weak and it has to just be played as this support role?
It has to be a support because you're playing versus a Morphling. Like Vengeful mid wouldn't really work. I've seen some teams play Vengeful like carry, offlane, even mid sometimes, but uh, in this particular game, I'm pretty certain that's going to be your position 5 or 4.
Storm Spirit.
And they go with Storm. All right, like the VP, they did pick Storm Spirit a couple of times recently, right? So they're going back to this hero. Storm Spirit mid can be countered by some cores. He has been buffed a bit. You don't really slow yourself anymore when you pull someone in. But at the same time, the hero's weakness is that laning stage. It was always his weakness. So this gives Team Empire an opportunity to pick something that's good versus him and perhaps roll out of control before Storm and Morphling can catch up. Like this last pick Storm does let me see some cracks in Virtus.pro's draft, and that's the greediness of their lineup. If they have a bad laning stage, Lina is good. Like she's gonna be able to deal well with the Storm in the laning stage. However, later on, she can have a lot of problems. If, however, they manage to have a good laning stage and just snowball afterwards. There is definitely potential in Team Empire's lineup. This Lina is also very solid versus both the Morphling and the Phoenix. So overall, the hero is a fantastic last pick for Team Empire.
That's
All
fair.
that said, you really have to roll over them. You really have to win the game early on, because if you don't, like, you might find yourself in a game in which Morphling is just rolling all over you and Storm Spirit is jumping your Lina and destroying her before she's able to burst down anyone.
It looks like Empire, well, and it's weird to say it's a lineup that has a Terrorblade, is they've kind of doubled down the lanes, because you mentioned the Morphling, the Storm's a bit greedy. Even the Phoenix, because I remember, well, we started casting together in the middle of a Phoenix Treant spamming meta, right? And the regular thing we'd say is, you need that level 2 egg. If you got a level 1 egg and there's anything like a Lina on the other side, it's never going to go pop. You distract them for maybe 2 seconds, if that. So definitely looks like the angle for Empire is to just ball out this laning phase, try and play this draft like you would an anti-base draft, right? Where the Terrorblade just farms and the other 4 apply constant pressure across the map.
Yep, and they do have the strengths. They do have the heroes that are good at doing that. And I think what's really good for this Lina is also that she doesn't have to be way too scared that she's gonna get ganked on mid. If he goes across the river and he pressures Storm a lot, he doesn't have to be like worried that someone is gonna rotate behind him and kill him. Unless Roger gets a really sick rule like an invis or something, he should be always fine at just pressuring Storm out as much as possible. It's really important to slow down Storm Spirit for as long as possible, so he doesn't just roll out of control.
I don't know why. I'm getting this funny prediction in my head that either the Venge or the Nyx are going to encounter an Invis rune before the 10-minute mark, and that's going to be the defining factor in the mid. But that'll give advantage one way or the other. It just feels like that type of game, right? Like it has.
We've seen that happen. We've seen that happen so many times. Like just support getting a couple of good runes and then just completely dominating mid because of that. Just lucking out on the hastes or invis runes.
They can be so volatile in this type of game, right?
Yeah.
Like because this matchup, like if one of these sides gets just a small advantage. I mean, the Lina, we know about the kill potential. The Storm somehow is the one to get the kill. It's not necessarily his kill threat then, it's just the lane dominance followed by the farming.
Top lane.
Solo. He didn't actually get the rune either. This was a brave maneuver. And one that might cost him his life if the magic missile is off cooldown. And I don't think they didn't even have to spend the mana for it. Nice block coming in from Seiyu to ensure that they save mana.
Seiyu didn't even skill. Seiyu didn't even skill anything. He still doesn't have Fade Bolt leveled up. He didn't even skill anything. He just right-clicked him to death. Kingar does get that last hit, which isn't really that great. Position 5 getting that first blood. Like position 4, it's awesome. Position 5, not as much. It's okay, but you'd rather give it to that Rubik.
He started with boots already, so I guess there wasn't as much imminence, maybe?
Yeah. No, that's true.
I think, yeah, you're right. In general, like, you want to give it 4, but it's been weird more recently when we've seen a lot more of the 4s picking up these boots right at the start of the game.
It doesn't matter. Getting arcanes on Rubik early on would like benefit them a lot on this off lane. It's not even only for the Rubik. It would help out the Panda too. So in that way, like it would be really good. But it's not that relevant. Like that first blood, you just take it. Whoever can take it. Usually these teams, like you just don't want to risk anyone escaping. Even when you're body blocking him, you just want to get that kill as fast as possible and hold on with your life. It's not that important unless your mid is there contributing. Then you want to give it to your mid, obviously.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, like King R basically just being a greedy boss, and we know that boss can stand for something else.
All right, so what's happening? Terrorblade and Morphling right now sitting on 7 CS, not being too pressured. The power spike on this bottom lane is basically when Phoenix gets his level 3, as he's gonna be able to burn a lot more damage away from the Terrorblade with the Fire Spirits.
I like the double Fairy Fire as well, just living life on the edge.
Yeah, at the same time on that top lane, Morphling Ramsey is just doing very well versus Madden right now.
They might have a kill on the King R here. going to be close. He's trying to run away, but Pasha chasing through. Needs one more hit. Salve comes out.
Yeah, Phoenix is the one that has to be careful, though. 3 seconds in, they're going to have enough mana for the stun. But, yeah, Pasha moves away on time properly.
Only a finite hero. The way you have to play Phoenix is... It's kind of an oddity, right? Because you want to be in their face. You're like, I'm a strength hero. My ability to support this. But you're a 0 armor hero as well.
Yeah, it's not really... You can only be in their face when you have Fire Spirits off cooldown. That's pretty much how you want to be playing with Phoenix, right? If you have Fire Spirits, you want to be as cocky as possible. If you have Dive, you can be in their face. But if you don't have Dive and they catch you, you're as good as that, especially if you don't have Boots. Right now, Pasha does have Boots to work with, does have the Fire Spirits as well, and you can see him making an advance on Dream instantly. But he can't dive. That's the thing. He's way too low, so they can't really do a whole lot. And he's still level 2. He needs that level 3 to be able to actually dish out a significant amount of damage.
I mean, you're doubling your damage. It's pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
A Terrorblade, especially after he did have his strength gain reduced again.
Yeah, I mean, 560 HP on this hero is...
Kodos. Oh no, he's down.
Oh no!
He salved as well. He dove for no one there.
Oh, he just got outplayed so hard one-on-one. No one with that last hit there gets the kill on the Lina all alone. He's now half of a level ahead. He's still like behind on CIS, but that's a huge kill to get to this map. And on the bottom lane as well, Dream.
Yeah, that's punishment under his tower. And King has to be
level
careful.
3 spike. That's the level 3 spike from both of these heroes. You get more damage on the Impale, you get more damage on the level 2 Fire Spirits, and you instantly go and punish them for the kill. They even use the Metamorphosis, so like it's even better for VP. And now, after a very silent start, as soon as they hit their power spike on this offlane, they get a kill, and no one, just a moment of brilliance from him on that mid lane, getting him a solo kill on Kodos' Lina. Like, overall, VP, they have a dream start, considering Morphling is doing well on top lane as well. They have a dream start in this match. And Dream, he has to be careful again on this bottom lane, because they have dive available.
They're gonna
go in.
Magic Missile comes out, Wave of Terror as well. King R looking to punish Pasha, but he has that Fairy Fire if it's a little bit too close.
Yeah, that dive from Pasha, if it was a little bit better, if he go over Dream and stop behind him, then perhaps he could use all of the Fire Spirits properly. But he missed a couple.
Dead. He salved as well. Say you at least get the 2 top runes, but this is... I mean, it seems like it's too early to say catastrophic, but the way the Empire drafted, we said they're looking to win these lanes. They're looking to ball out of control, and there's a concern that VP might end up being the ones to do that at this rate.
Oh, most certainly. As Dream is being Doven again on the bottom lane. Well, there's a dive from
Well, he's all alone. There's no escape.
This is like the problem of Terrorblade versus Phoenix. Like, this is one of the best heroes to play on the laning stage as Phoenix against. You know, like, you just have so much dot damage that his armor does not work.
He has an own already as well. Like, I don't know how you actually attend to this lane anymore. Do you have to try and maybe bring Rubik down and just try and find a kill?
It's difficult, because if you bring that Rubik down, then your Panda is going to remain level 5 for a pretty long time. I think also this top lane that we haven't really talked a lot about, Rubik, he spent so much time messing with Oracle that he wasn't really helping versus the Morphling, right? So the Morphling had just complete free farm. He has 40 CS right now. Maybe if they used mid lane Roger...
Spike Carapace came out though, and there's Laguna. They are not messing around. Fable as well.
Yeah, they finally get that Roger kill. It's good. It's a good move by Empire, taking down this tier 1. It's very important for them to take as much of map control as possible. Considering Terrorblade is confined in the jungle, he's gonna need a lot of space.
This does seem to define the movement towards pushing mid more often now, right? It's because we see a lot of these mids that can farm the jungle effectively. So Storm went to do that, and it feels like the moment you see that the team is leveraging the mid as an XP sap for the support, you rotate, right?
Top lane Madden.
Getting low. Ramses has the adaptive strike, but Ramses gets out just before the Light Strike Array connects. little bit too close for comfort there. He thought he could find an easy kill. He was looking to just finish off the adaptive strike onto Madden, but they'll be fine.
Oh, the way he dodged that stun. If he didn't dodge it, I believe Vengeful is there. She can follow up with another stun with minus armor. They could have even gotten that kill. Overall, Empire, even though we...
Oh no, we got him!
What?
Oh, King R! The wave of
King
terror,
R, indeed.
level 3 was enough.
I think he just got level there. Did he get a full level 5?
Even if it was level 2, right? You're a Morphling on no HP.
Morphling was on no HP because Oracle was using Fate's Purifying Flames to try and heal him up as much as possible, which obviously backfired there.
And it was all Solo's fault, and he pays the price for it. There you go. After Ramses does. I mean, there were some cute little plays as well at the beginning, because what they were doing is they were using Purifying Flames when he was morphed into Brewmaster and then switching for the heals. Meanwhile, bot lane, there's a strike on the Rubik here as Pasha commits the egg, and they might get the tower out of this.
They take down Rubik and they're gonna take the tower. Rubik was basically the sacrificial lamb there, trying to defend the tower for as long as possible, trying to get some experience. Pasha did use his egg there, so that egg is not gonna be available for, let's say, some top lane defense, which is also a fair trade for Empire. Pasha is having a great game, but he's still playing versus Alina. This hero at any given point in the game can deal with the egg, but at the same time it's Alina. You have Storm to jump her, you have Nyx to jump her.
Storm come towards the top lane here. He might actually go and defend top. They aren't pushing hard enough, and just have a look at Madden's XP. They actually can't commit to that push because of how close he is yet so far from level 6.
Minute 9. I mean, he's had worse times, like that last game and the game before. I believe it was minute 10 plus that the offlaners got their level 6 because teams kind of just focused on preventing the offlaners from having anything on those lanes. This time around, they're doing a little bit better, both Madden and the Phoenix. Obviously, Phoenix doing great on this offlane of Dire. He also has that Midas, yeah. Almost has that Midas. It's a good pickup. Earn into Midas is one of my favorite builds on Phoenix too. It's just like that. Earn helps you a lot in the laning stage, gives you that bonus damage, especially if you're having a good laning stage. That Earn makes you take down any hero, and then you can go into the Midas to scale a bit better too.
With timing like this, there can be no complaint either.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have it by 11-12 minute mark. Yeah, there it is. He's got enough.
Mm-hmm.
Was thinking about going for that greedy rune snatch, but you realize that Lina was down here. Now going towards the Lina. Light Strike Ray's been thrown out already. She might be in trouble. Throws it onto the Storm. The Laguna's not enough. They're going to move it now. The egg comes out. Vortex to lock the Lina down. Will get the kill. No one wants to go for save, who is in range of the egg. Just about gets out, though. Goes to the steal. Ends up taking the remnant. So I guess Rubik's going to go off and farm somewhere. Or is he? Pasha? Okay, he's committing close to Madden. Madden has the split, but it's too late. Pasha reads it perfectly.
Is he gonna... Nah, he's not gonna tick out, right? Is he?
He is? He's gone? Oh,
right. That's the spirit. And that's the strength of this Phoenix return early on. He just deals with these squishy supports so easily. Like, this is a dream Phoenix game too. It's a really good pickup in this match. Like, versus the Venge, versus the Lina, all these heroes are just so tiny and squishy, and your burn is gonna be felt by them.
Living up to expectations so far. Top lane. King Al has a swap. Roger's here though. Light Strike Array on the Morphling, and the damage going to be close. Fade Bolt gets it. Seiyu in range. Now the swap comes out into Roger. That's a bonus kill. Thank you very much, they say. The double stun will be enough to ensure they don't just get the Morphling, they get the Nyx as well.
Yeah, Roger was sitting behind him, but I think the hero that should be sitting behind that Morphling is most likely the Solo's Oracle. Like, Nyx has better aggressive potential, while Oracle is the one that saves, obviously.
Punish Lina now. Vortex jumping, coming in. Nice stun with the Impale. Kuro still alive. Turns around Light Strike Ray and the Laguna. But nice use of the False Promise just in time by Solo. The steal. Seiyu says, okay, but I refuse to die now. The clap's going to come out, and Solo dragged towards his death. Keep the Storm alive, and now the waveform through. Ramsey's still going, wants to kill Seiyu, and he'll find it. Split comes out, but way too late to save the life of the Rubik, and Ramsey's, he'll just walk this off. Magic Missile
Yeah,
coming out,
Storm
Wave
is
of Terror.
back.
I mean, he can just morph back, and Storm is here. He's just waiting. He's wandering up, getting the max value out of the mana he can. And once
They
this
want to
split
take
ends,
down Madden.
yeah, he realizes it's too late. They're going to dive in, slow him up. Vortex drags back into the burn, and he will feel death just tickling at his feet.
Yeah, he should have maybe backed out a little bit sooner. It was obvious that he's not going to take down Morphling, so continuing that pursuit was a little bit, you know, wasn't really the greatest play.
Spirit.
Roger is lurking around this Terrorblade, but he has no follow-up. So this is basically what I want to see from Roger. I want to see him moving aggressively across the map. Well, this time around he is spotted out, but he doesn't have Vendetta anyway.
He doesn't
Well,
have a
Oracle
TP,
is-
so he needs to get out right now, actually.
While Oracle should be the one that's sitting behind these cores and preventing them from dying.
Shift the focus a bit back to Pasha. I mean, this seems to be like... I think we're talking about the Phoenix a lot. I know you love Phoenix, but it's a justified subject, this game, because he's been playing fantastically. All to the point, he just got level 10, so he has his GPM talent. He has a Midas. This might be an abnormal thing usually to say, but I think Phoenix at this rate might end up being the richest person in the game for quite a while by the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's gonna be extremely farmed unless he dies a few times. Like sometimes Phoenix is what they tend to do, like especially in pro games, is you have such a good game that you kind of overestimate your level 1 egg, and then you die in some awkward positions. They've smoked up. They want to fight again, but he still has to be careful not to feed the advantage that he's been given on this bottom lane. He needs to be careful with the way he uses that egg. He's itemizing properly though. You're gonna have the Shivas versus the Terrorblade versus the Lina. Vengeful Kingar, just look at his positioning. It's so good. He's gonna break that smoke. That scan also scan them out, so they know exactly what's happening. And
Yeah,
just good positioning by Kingar. You can see that he's using Wave of Terror as well to scout out around mid.
Good restraint from VP to back off at that stage. Like a lot of teams, you usually see them in that scenario as 5 men going towards that T1 tower. They'll feel the need to commit for it.
Yeah, they don't have any wards that deep into the jungle, so behind the tier 1 on mid. So that rotation, if they did manage to get a kill, this is a fresh ward, by the way, the Dar
Yeah,
one
he
and the
played
lady,
that. They try to get value out of the smoke.
Yeah, so if they manage to get a pick off, even on Avenge, they probably would collapse on this tier 1 afterwards, but without getting that opening kill, that would be a little bit too greedy, so they decide not to.
They might come back soon. I mean, that ward is there for a reason. They're going to try and find someone just farming the primary jungle. But so far, Dream has done a good job after the lane phase of just dodging that area. Just making sure he's in the safe triangle. Playing around part of VP's jungle.
How's his Terrorblade? His Terrorblade is still on top of the network. Like, I mean, it is a Terrorblade. It's expected. You have illusions to farm with. Your farm should be a little bit better, even with 0-2, than the farm of most of these heroes on the map. However, they're collapsing right now on this tier 2 on top. All 5 of them, actually.
Yeah, VP are coming.
They have good sentries. They spotted out Roger.
They're very close to having level 2 egg on Pasha, actually. So he hits 1-2 more creeps, they'll have that. And at that stage, Empire are going to struggle to find into this. At that stage, there's not many people that can actually burn through that egg quick enough.
Yeah, he has recipe for Shivas. He has plate mail too. Man, I don't want to be talking about this Phoenix too much, but he's having such a good game. We don't really see Phoenix so often in pro games.
Not
top lane Roger.
Yeah, he's pretty deep. Magic Missile's going to come out, have Vendetta for 20 seconds, and no Spike Carapace means that Kodos will get the kill with the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, it's a pretty good pickup for them. A nice kill. They're pinging out Pasha too, but it's hard to approach him as he has this ward. They think, like, Lina is thinking, alright, I'm sneaky. I'm gonna get him with the night vision. But this lane ward on top lane from Dara just scouted her out, so she couldn't really get anything done.
Have to be careful. He's going to be diving. Egg gets dropped straight away. Kodos down half HP due to the adaptive strike. Uses himself, but when he comes down, he just sets up the stun perfectly. Bye, Lina. And now King R next on the hit list. He can't escape either. Feel that burn. Pasha.
Yeah, that's instantly
No hesitation.
a mega kill for Pasha and a tier 1 most likely for them. They don't have creeps, so that makes it a bit more difficult, but you can see Roger rotating around the shrine, rotating perhaps behind them. Oh, nah, he's gonna go for Terrorblade, I think.
I mean, he got a glimpse of him from the ward, right?
Yeah, he did. Okay, but can they kill him before he sunders? He and no one? Nah, it looks like Roger is just gonna stick around mid a bit.
No one's thinking about it, but I think you just focus on getting that Orchid complete first. I mean, you can toy with him a little bit, but Dream is hiding in the trees all the time. Beauty of this hero is at this stage in the game, you have a clarity and just use your illusions to farm the waves.
Yeah, he TP'd out too. There's a 4-man smoke coming from Empire. They realized, all right, guys, we need to do something. It's all on us. Like, VP have been making these movements across the map all the time. We have done nothing. Let's try and kill Pasha. Let's see.
Gonna go for it. Light Strike Ray comes out. Huge kill for them there. 500 gold going the way of Rubik. They'll know that Roche is going on, but 40 seconds without Phoenix, and there would have been 30 seconds without Egg anyway.
Yeah, he can perhaps buy back, but they're just not in position to fight around this pit. And because of that, that Empire smoke is gonna be like very good as they take down Aegis 2 18 minutes in. They give it to their Terrorblade that's building towards that BKB now too. Well, overall, once he gets that BKB, it's gonna be a bit harder for VP to take him down as he's gonna be immune to the magic damage of the Phoenix, of the Storm.
And speaking of this Storm, I mean, his Orchid targets are going to be diminishing because of that BKB pickup. I guess maybe, does it feel like Storm's, their actions are more predictable in terms of item builds than before because Bloodstone, it doesn't really get as valued like it used to until later in the game?
Yeah, I mean, you can still go for it, but it's not as valuable as you said. He's getting that Orchid because they were in front and he thought perhaps he's going to get it before these big pickup items come on the side of Empire like BKB's Yules. Obviously, it didn't really work out, not so far.
Zayu has his blink as well. He's picked it up. Not bad timing considering how this went for Empire. So big power spikes incoming from them, and on the back of an Aegis, maybe they can look to get out on the map. Just burn through VP's remaining out of towers. Trying to get rid of this mostly useless tower, but I guess with this many heroes here, they can try and force Empire back towards bot lane after they take this tier 2 top.
No, they're just gonna trade tier 2 for... They have Aegis. It's not really that great for Empire, but the team fight of VP is very strong, even versus an Aegis. So they have to be careful. There's a BKB completed on Terrorblade. This also gives them another way of killing that egg off. Even a level 2 egg, I think TB at this point with Yasha BKB, he might be able to take it down with perhaps one extra hit from one of the supports or something. The problem is when you're playing versus that and you use BKB to take down that egg, like you're wasting a lot of your BKB timing on hitting one egg. And if you don't take it down, it's a disaster. If you take it down, good job, you wasted your whole BKB hitting one thing. And
Then what are you doing to deal with the rest of them? You know, Morphling, Rain 3 and Supreme, and so the Storm. It's just basically Pasha is ticking the boxes, right? When you're an offlaner, if you're not dominating, your real question is, am I making the enemy waste a lot of time on me? And Phoenix is going to fill that box. Roger getting ready with a backstab as well. There you're hiding in the trees, though, because he has that blink dagger. I don't think they've seen it yet, either. The ping comes out now. The ward just about spotted him. They're going to go straight in. Sayu is dead. There's no way he's going to escape from that Datu strike. Moving across, ball lining in. They're stacked pretty hard. The burn's going to come through as well. And now Ramsey's committing pretty heavily. Rue's going to get low. They can't quite finish him off. They'll find the kill. The Banks will turn around. Rue Master no split comes out in time. And now Terrorblade instantly respawns and just TPs away with the BKB active. No one. He doesn't even die. He gets the kill on the Kodos.
That attempt from Kodos there, he was shadow amuleted and he waited for Storm for the right moment to try and kill him, but he just doesn't manage to. And VP just style all over them, even versus that Aegis. They just did not care. They're just way too far in front and they take a clean fight. Nyx Assassin scouting out the Rubik. Then Storm and Morphling with the Lincolns and with these builds, they just ran all over them. Empire, I believe they just, like, remember what we said, they needed to have a good laning stage. They needed to be the ones dominating VP early on. They definitely did not need to be playing versus a level 15 Phoenix like minute 19 in with Shiva's completed Midas and an urn.
Pretty brutal. I mean, it has been the story of Phoenix, you know? He's not the quiet hummingbird. He refuses to go silently into that night. Instead, he is just singing a victory tune for VP right now. And 1.6 AHP. Do you burst him quick enough? I don't... Like, if you do, the amount you have to commit is insane because you haven't got that magic damage burst to kill him straight away. And he has so much armor.
And you have Oracle behind him, plus the Shiva's passive. So, like, how do you burn? Like, he has fire, he has ice.
And I guess it's also, like, it feels like Empire maybe... Would you say they're making a mistake in where they're fighting? Or is it just VP catching them in the perfect spot? Because that was a choke point, right? And you're talking about a lineup that has this Morphling, this Storm Spirit, and this Phoenix that can play around the high ground, the low ground so easily.
Usually you want to take that spot as a team that has taken down Aegis, has taken down Rosh, and is looking towards fighting around the tier 2 mid and taking down the tier 2. That choke point on the high ground, especially because they warded it, is strategically good for you. However, there's a lot of mobility on VP, and they didn't respect that. Like the Phoenix with the dive, the Vendetta Nyx, and then also obviously the Storm jumping in.
The Nyx they know about, they just found him. By characterizing a little bit of time, Laguna got committed though. They actually bait him in, going for the back line. Empire are in trouble. They're going to lose their Rubik, and they've already lost the bench. And now pursuing for more. Ramsey's getting pretty low. Needs to be careful of Dream here. Switches back to the Morphling, and now it's going to go full strength. Will wait for him away. They're wasting the BKB of the Terrorblade. All they got so far was the Nyx. They need more. No one stands up against this. He's going to back away now. Pasha stunned up. In trouble. He will get the egg out in time. They're going to focus it down, but there's the Vortex coming through. Is it going to be enough? They're going to be selling this up. Lena, she's dead. The egg is going to go pop. Terrorblade, he's gone. They don't even get a chance to get rid of it. Instead, it'll be VP getting rid of the entirety of Empire. And that was all off the back of Empire striking at Roger.
It was basically Roger running into them, making them think that they get a free kill, and then instantly everyone from VP just shows up. They demonstrate the power of this high mobility lineup. Their catch-up is just way too good. The way they fought around that shrine too, like making Terrorblade waste that BKB before they use their big spells. Also the way they fight around the egg, the way they help each other out, the way they communicate in a matter of split seconds. There's a Storm pulling the Terrorblade. There's Oracle using Fate's Edict on the Panda so he cannot hit that tag. That tag survived, I believe, on 2 hits. If that tag instantly falls, they can turn on the rest of them. Storm was not working with a lot of mana. I believe one of the biggest strengths of Phoenix when he uses that tag is the fact that it's literally a taunt, right? It forces the enemy team to attack it. If they like it or not, you have to focus it. You don't want to be dealing with another full HP hero after the egg pops. Refreshed full HP hero. So
it's like a large axe presence. I mean, big. Like you said, they were just so in sync. The way that no one played that final moment as well, because he threw out the silence on the Lena, so she couldn't spam spells to get the extra attack speed, and then instantly just grabs the Terrorblade, knowing actually he's going to be attacking faster at this stage. The synchronicity, the level that VP are communicating on, you expect this from these guys who are making it to so many finals and majors, but Empire just seem helpless in the face of it.
Nah, you expect it, but at the same time, it doesn't matter that you can't be in awe when you're watching it. It's just I mean, we got used to. I think this whole community got used to seeing these big plays that we don't appreciate them as much, right? As
we get numbed by it, right? Like
yeah, you get a little bit numbed by it, exactly. But as an ex-pro player or someone that's still striving to be one, seeing them execute these team fights so properly. It just, I don't know, it gives me the chills, man. I just love seeing it.
Fanboy confirmed here. Maybe for good reason.
Nah, it's not. I'm not fanboying
You're a Phoenix
VP.
fanboy. That's what it is.
No, I'm not fanboying a team. I'm fanboying the play. You know, I'm fanboying the execution. The same way I fanboyed Empire when they were taking down Morphling on top lane or something.
That's fair. Like, sometimes people think like you see the comments cast a bias. We never bias, actually. We just like good plays. I mean, we have not... It's not like we're doing 3-2-2 bets. We don't have any chips in the game. We just want good Dota, and VP are delivering that right now.
Oh, you didn't? You don't have any chips? I'm kidding. It's fine.
Maybe some diversified portfolio. We don't get into that. Nothing going on. Okay, betting is not allowed, guys. Bad for the DPC.
Wait, so Terrorblade is trying to split push them, and he does push very fast.
He's forced to lob them back, actually.
Yeah, they went completely back. They want to try and fight this for sure. They have the meta, they have the egg, right? So there's no reason for them to just give up towers. They took down the tier 2 on top, and now they're gonna basically. The problem is, like, usually when you're this in front, you would be looking at forcing them back to defend the high ground, but you can't really force Selena and Terrorblade back, as they're gonna push even faster. Even though you're up front, you're in front of. When it comes to network, they're still gonna push faster than you, as those heroes are just insane at doing exactly that. They're made for pushes. So
It's gonna be the real big focus as this goes later. Does this potentially curve around the Empire's favor? Because you'd argue, yes, usually with Terrorblade, but you actually look at the way the net worth is growing, it feels like at this rate it's going to be Terrorblade against the world, because Lena's starting to fall behind the other cores inside of VP, and Dream's the only one competing.
once he gets that BKB on Lina, it opens up different possibilities for them, different like ways of playing out these team fights, which is really important for Empire, as you're gonna have another item to deal with your kid. You're gonna have another item to deal with the burst magic damage from Virtus.pro on another core of yours, and that's another power spike for Empire. However, is she even gonna get that BKB? Because VP, they're moving into the pit, they're taking down that rush. They are scanned out, but it doesn't look like Empire is ready to fight this. They would have to all port there, and they're just not in position.
Basically going to be free B for VP as the lanes were pushed in, so it's not like the side Empire can find value elsewhere on the map. Nicely read by VP, nicely set up. And I think you're right, like, is this game going to last long enough? I mean, he's getting close to that BKB. I guess your big concern is this game's priority shifts, right? Because so far, VP have been able to be in a scenario like we saw Nyx, where they can let Empire initiate first and react and be so potent. But once that BKB is online, you've got two magic immune targets on Empire. Does that suddenly change the priority? Does it suddenly become a case of whichever team gets the first jump is going to have the advantage?
Not necessarily right now, as there's Aegis and Cheese on the side of Virtus.pro. Perhaps in 5 minutes, once that Aegis is reclaimed, it's going to be that way. But at the moment, VP, strategically, they're in a much better position. And it's a much easier game for them to play. As you can see, Storm just zipping in on Dream.
Yeah, gonna punish him for that D-Ward, King R. He will die, and Roger was even there to ensure the stun control was good enough. Just in time for the runes.
He didn't even see them, by the way. Nyx was not giving vision. Nyx was super far away, so he just zipped in because he knew that one of them is gonna be around that bounty rune, waiting for it to spawn. He just jumps in and he gets a kill.
Was it a sentry they were dewarding in the river?
Yeah, they were dewarding something, so...
Might have been an orbs, but I think it was a sentry. Yeah.
That gave them some vision, at least.
Yeah, he just jumps to the high ground, because he's like, okay, Venge is here, I need to make sure I can see what's on the high ground. Close enough to stun. That's fair.
Alright, for that next fight, we are gonna see Lina having that BKB, as he needs, what, 20 gold more? He should have it.
Storm's close to 20 as well. Do you take the... I think the Vortex is worth taking this game, or are you definitely in on the attack speed?
Yeah, you can...
It's not the biggest decision for a 20 skill, right? Like, compared to some of the level 20 talents we see in the game. For example, if you look at Phoenix, it's like, wow, stun or dive doesn't... Oh, heals coming out. Spot the Morphling. Zip in's going to be there. Just throwing them out. No one doesn't want to commit heavily. Ramsey's going to move away. Drum's activated to make sure that he doesn't take too much damage.
He has that E-Blade, so every time they do something like this, they have to be careful of the repercussions, as he might just E-Blade you down together with the Storm.
Getting pretty deep here. Magic Missile comes out. Light Strike Array follow up. Ball lining in. Silence onto the Lina. Gets the BKB. Can't use because the Vortex. They're fighting into this. The Supernova's going to go down. Dream with the BKB. Trying to back up. Will turn around the egg, but realizes it's just too tanky. They have to back away. They lose the Venge. Nothing else, but the Split's going to come out. Ramsey's BKB runs out. He'll move away. Cyclone onto the Phoenix in the meantime. They want to try and punish Pasha. They do lose their tier 3 Pasha. Still with the dive and the Aeon Disc as well, as you said. They're just trying to pop that before they go for the stun, but it's a little bit too late. They're going to keep chasing. Split's about to run out. Madden is going to back up. A nice stun. Perfectly timed by Roger. He goes in pretty deep. Waveform through. Looking at the back line. Gets the Rubik. Buyback comes out on the bench. And now they're going to get the Brew low. Madden just burns up and dies off. Dream, no BKB to work with. He does have the Sunder, but he doesn't have a good target. Ramsey's moving deeper. Still has the Aegis to work with here. He's going to switch up from the Terrorblade form. He's just going to work on the melee racks right now. Things calm down for a moment here, as both teams have expended a lot of their resources.
Yeah, you can see that Dire is respecting the burst damage from Empire quite a lot. Morphling is going in, but he's not going ham. So far, at least
They're not respecting no one. The stun comes through. King R down to half HP. The Adaptive Strike gets the kill and save. Light Strike arrays there. Kodos taking a lot of damage. Will go down. Now they're moving to the backline. Dream. He goes for the Thunder play, but it doesn't matter. The swap across from King R will save his life, but only for a few seconds. They wipe the entirety of Empire. The whole base is exposed. VP are going to rip right through it as the GG comes out. VP secure themselves a spot at the MDL Disneyland Paris Major.
Yeah, it was just a hard hill to climb for Empire. Yeah, they did take down that first game away from VP, but it's the VP's curse. They give you that first game and then they win after. Like they've actually won so many series in this fashion that it became a meme pretty much. Like they throw the first game. They warm up with the first match of the series. They kind of measure you up, right? They realize what you're made out of, and then they draft accordingly afterward. They win. Overall, this game, Team Empire, they had a solid draft. I don't think that it's only the draft issues that made them lose this match. I think Lina dying solo to no one on mid lane made it much harder for them to transfer from that early laning stage into the mid game, into the tower push, into the objective taking stage of the game. And obviously, no one 11-0, but at the same time, right by his side, Pasha 11-1-11 on that Phoenix. One of the best Phoenix performances that I've seen in the last few months, especially in the pro scene, if not the best Phoenix performance. Like they just dominated that Terrorblade on the offlane, and then he scaled just way out of control. It was too hard for Team Empire to deal with him, even though they did have this Lina to get those fiery soul stacks, right, to hit the egg. He never could do it. Kodos never could do it because he was always controlled by someone from VP. Overall, very well executed by Virtus.pro.
Synchronicity just on point, and yeah, huge credit to Phoenix. You know, we don't often get to see games that are so solidly decided through that early mid game by a Phoenix. I mean, maybe this is just because we don't get to see too many POS free Phoenixes. You know, most teams, they focus it as a 5, or they used to. Now, no one seems to really be interested in picking it, except for VP here today, proving it still has a spot. Maybe we see more of it in the coming days, the coming weeks. But that does mean that Virtus.pro are through. They've made it to the major. Team Empire aren't out of it, though. No. There's plenty still to come. We've got 2 more best-of-3 series to resolve here today. Empire are going to go have a break. They're going to sit in the lower bracket final, seeing if they can actually secure the 2nd spot for the CIS region. First up, we're going to have a different series. That's right. There's 2 very well-known teams that ended up in the lower bracket. They're a little bit angry. They think it is justified. They have earned that 2nd spot. So, short break, and then we will return with Gambit versus Na'Vi. That should be something to watch because, you know, Gambit, they've been making some interesting surprises throughout the season. And Na'Vi, definitely a team that's been on the road to improvement list. I mean, they've been taking huge strides towards competing with these tier 1 teams.
Oh, definitely. They're on the rise. It's going to be very interesting match to watch.
Well, that sounds hype to me, maybe to you too. I think we might be getting switched across on the channel, so I'll let you guys know in the chat if that is confirmed. That's what's happening. But be assured, there's more CIS Dota to come, and you don't want to miss it.